Curious to see how Peter looks when he's poor versus when he's rich? Everything is revealed in this video. Watch till the end to support the channel. Number 1. Becoming a discount hooker in Season 3, Episode 9. When Peter faced financial troubles, he took on a job that left the entire audience in shock. He became a hooker.
Okay, but it'll cost you. What do you want, a Cleveland steamer?
I said get in the car! What's a Cleveland steamer?
It all started when Peter, feeling stuck in a dead-end job, took Lois's advice and invited his boss, Mr. Weed, over for dinner. This immediately reminded him of the time Margot Kidder brought bad luck to his house.
Oh, we loved you in the Superman movies. You were just wonderful.
While nervously waiting for Mr. Weed, Lois reassured Peter that everything would be fine. But Peter, ever the optimist, worried that if things went south, he'd have to return to the power company, where his coworkers mocked him for being fat.
Bet. I knew that. Slow it down. It.
Pit.
Come on, pal. It's my first day. At.
Fat.
Oh, that's it, buddy.
Miraculously, the dinner went well. Mr. Weed was impressed by Peter's home, his family, and of course the hilarious talking dog.
What kind of a name is Weed?
They gave it to my grandfather on Ellis Island. Our original name was Bermuda grass.
Just as he was about to promote Peter to director of toy development, the excitement caused Brian to choke on an entire dinner roll.
Holy crap! Oh, thanks, Mr. Weed. Oh, you won't be sorry. Brian, quit it. You're embarrassing me here.
In a heroic effort to save Brian, Peter and Lois performed the Heimlich maneuver, successfully launching the roll out of Brian's throat, straight into Mr. Weed's mouth. He choked. He died.
He's dead.
Forgot my purse.
Right on cue, someone banged on the door, announcing a random corpse inspection by the police. Peter panicked and attempted to flush Mr. Weed's body down the toilet.
Police! Random dead body search! Oh my God, Lois, stall him!
Peter, what are you doing?
Just stall him, Lois!
However, when they opened the door, there were no cops, just the Grim Reaper, admitting he was just messing with them. Classic death.
Peter, it's okay. It's just death.
Oh, thank God.
Hey, did someone choke on a roll in here?
Oh, no. I spit it up.
At Mr. Weed's funeral, Peter made a pathetic attempt to convince his coworkers that Weed definitely promised him a promotion, using a hand puppet with a mustache.
And I brought along my attorney who confirms that this constitutes a verbal contract. Isn't that right, Saul?
Yes, sir. Verbal contract.
Thank you.
Unfortunately for him, a video will reveal that as soon as Mr. Weed died, the Happy-Go-Lucky Toy Factory would be demolished to make way for the Happy-Go-Lucky Terminal Disease Institute. And as promised, the building was immediately leveled, leaving everyone unemployed.
To make way for the Happy-Go-Lucky Terminal Disease Institute.
What?
The demolition will begin in now.
Desperate for cash, Peter jumped into the job market. His first gig being a hand dryer in a public restroom, a grueling job that left him exhausted.
Oh, sorry, we're out of towels. Let me get that for you, sir.
Next, he faked being deaf to sell stickers, but hilariously blew his own cover.
What, I'm supposed to pay $2 for stickers because this guy can't hear? Come on.
Hey, I might be deaf, but I have feelings. Oh, I mean, what?
And finally, in his most questionable career move yet, he tried his hand at, well, being a cheap prostitute. That didn't last long because his family caught him in action on the street.
Well, clearly it's not that tube top.
Hey, looking for a good time, sweet cheeks?
Oh my God.
Peter, get in the car.
Okay, but it'll cost you. What do you want, a Cleveland steamer?
Lois, in complete horror, pulled up in the car and told Peter to get in. But of course, Peter was deeply committed to his new profession and pretended not to hear her. Only after a cop walked by did Peter reluctantly hop into the car.
Okay, so you want a party or what?
Get in this car right now.
It's eerie, isn't it? Like looking into the future.
Peter lost his job, his dignity, and almost his marriage, all because of one dinner roll. That's got to be a world record. Number 2, Peter's desperate hustle for his family in Season 4, Episode 9. When Lois gets thrown in jail for shoplifting, the Griffin family quickly descends into absolute chaos. Think filth, disorder, and, most tragically, Stewie sitting in a full diaper for way too long.
I can't take it anymore. I haven't eaten in 4 days because I just can't fit any more in there. Help me.
Unable to endure the madness any longer, Peter devises an escape plan for Lois that no sane person would ever think of by literally stuffing her head into his mouth. Romance is alive, people.
I think I got an idea of how to smuggle you out.
Bye-bye. Take care now. Have a nice day.
Their great escape lands them inside a laundry truck where they make a shocking discovery. Brian, the ever-dignified dog, cannot keep his balance in a moving vehicle.
What the hell is wrong with you?
I'm a dog, all right? I have a very tough time standing up in the car.
Eventually, they decide to settle wherever the truck stops, and thus, welcome to Asian Town.
Well, at least I don't have to worry about the evil monkey here.
Step 1. Find a place to live. Peter warns everyone not to attract attention, but naturally, he's the first one to blow their cover by screaming at the sight of who he believes is Jackie Chan.
Oh my God, it's Jackie Chan!
Oh my God, you're Ethan Hawke!
No, I'm not.
Sorry, my mistake. Oh my God, it's Ethan Hawke!
Mom, can we go get some food?
Oh my God, there's Malcolm in Middle!
I'm not a boy.
Yes, you are.
They rent a rundown apartment and embark on their new life, which of course means getting jobs. Chris becomes a rickshaw driver.
Hey, you here on business? I bet it's business, because I had a fare earlier today. This used to be a people business, but now, I don't know.
And things are so dire that even Stewie has to work, though his brief stint at a Chinese shoe factory ends in immediate termination due to operator error.
Oh, damn. I say, I seem to have sewn a shoe to my hand. May I go to the nurse? Replace him! Ah! Faster!
The family's last hope? Peter, of course. He lands an interview to become a sumo wrestler, where he confidently claims he was born an athlete, much like Greg Louganis.
You're probably asking yourself, which way are they gonna go? Are they gonna make a diving board head injury joke? Are they gonna make an AIDS joke? Or are they gonna make a joke about the fact that his last name sounds suspiciously like anus?
Peter decided to go all out, cracking a joke about a hairless man with the flawlessly hairless Brian as his perfect prop.
Brian?
Hi, I'm Greg Louganis. I'm totally shaven.
Terrific. Terrific.
With no experience but plenty of body mass, he secures the job, only to spectacularly lose his first match.
I'm not really sure what to do here. Boy, you put on weight, Jackie Chan.
Oh my God!
Did you walk?
Just as they start settling in, Joe tracks them down, kicking off a high-speed rickshaw chase that ends with the Griffins fleeing into the sewers, where Peter, in pure terror, jumps onto Brian's back like he's a horse.
What are you getting all bent out of shape about?
Well, you know, Carl, I got virtually nothing here, you know?
Look, I don't see what the problem is.
No, you wouldn't, would you? Now, look, all I'm saying is I got the raw end of the deal.
You invited me over.
Yeah, well, now I'm regretting it.
The pursuit escalates when Joe calls in a police helicopter, only to find himself suddenly engaged in an aerial battle with TIE fighters.
When I fire rockets, I always pretend I'm shooting at Alan Alda and Jamie Farr. Take that, wisecracking meatball surgeon!
Somehow, he manages to destroy the Empire's ships. Star Wars logic, don't question it, and continue the chase.
Childhood obesity.
In the end, Lois chooses to surrender and face justice, but not before saving Joe's life when he nearly plummets off a cliff.
Joe, you're too heavy. I can't hang on.
Pretend I'm your child, Lois. Nutmeg, nutmeg!
Grateful, Joe pulls some legal strings to delay her sentence, and just like that, the Griffin's life returns to its usual brand of dysfunction. Final verdict on Peter's financial situation. If desperation was an Olympic sport, Peter would have a gold medal and still find a way to pawn it for beer money. Number 3, Peter Griffin, from rags to riches, and right back again in Season 10, Episode 1. Welcome to the episode where Peter Griffin proves that, if you're going to be broke, at least buy a lottery ticket. After years of scraping by, surviving on instant noodles, and shedding tears outside his dream sushi restaurant,
Irashaimase! Hajime Here comes a black guy!
Peter finally puts his financial genius to work by taking out a second mortgage on the house to buy 200,000 lottery tickets. Yes, you heard that right. This is the go big or go home strategy on steroids.
You take these tickets back right now.
No way, Lois. We're gonna win. I got lots of good karma built up from doing those USO shows. So apparently they found a weapon of mass destruction. My putter.
And shockingly, luck is on his side. After subjecting his family to the soul-crushing task of checking hundreds of thousands of losing tickets, Brian, of all creatures, accidentally stumbles upon the winning ticket.
Oh my God. We won.
What?
Let me see that. Yes, we won the lottery! I'm getting a penis butler.
Sir?
All right, buttle my penis. Buttle it!
That's right, Peter spends a fortune, but it's the family dog that actually secures the jackpot. And just like that, Peter Griffin joins the ranks of the ultra-rich. But as with all lottery millionaires, Peter soon spirals into a glorious money-burning frenzy.
Ah! It's not a liquid! It's a great many pieces of solid matter that form a hard floor-like surface! Ah!
He quits his job, becomes a full-time drinker at the Drunken Clam, and generously bankrolls his friends on one condition: they're not allowed to leave his sight. He basically turns them into his personal servants.
Oh, well, I guess I could stick around.
Yeah, and I guess the co-pilot can fly the plane. She's a woman, and passengers are usually okay with that.
I once saw a deodorant commercial that had a woman pilot.
Even resorting to gunfire when they fail to entertain him. That's right, benevolent dictatorship Griffin style.
Fine, go on. I don't care. I don't need you. I got money.
You know, Peter, you used to be a great guy, but ever since you won that lottery... Come on, Joe! This guy!
And what about Lois? At first, she worries that all this money is corrupting the family, including Brian and Stewie. As for Chris, well, let's just say he embraces the high life with a concerning amount of enthusiasm.
Your fancy rags, sir.
You are relieved for the evening. You don't see poor people doing this!
But Peter, ever the smooth talker, wins Lois over with a diamond ring the size of a car tire.
Peter, I love it.
Hey, you want to watch a DVD of the murder while we do it? I already watched it 8 times, so I know exactly which part I want to blam at.
With no self-control whatsoever, the Griffins burn through their fortunes so fast that they can't even pay for a fancy lunch.
And over there is the Rhode Island State House, the second largest self-supporting marble dome in North America. Why the am I doing this? I could have just said I did it.
No worries, they just win the lottery again. But as the unshakable laws of Griffin economics dictate, easy come, easy go. The cycle of wealth and ruin repeats itself.
We had $150 million and we blew through it in a month.
Yeah, but on the bright side, if this hadn't happened, we never would have met Kyle.
Hey.
Hi.
Hey there. What's up? And that's not even Kyle.
In the end, when there's nothing left, Lois urges Peter to reconnect with his friends. Penniless and humbled, his only remaining asset being a cardboard box, Peter learns that money can't buy friendship.
I don't expect you to forgive me, but if for some reason you do, you can find me in a cardboard box on the corner of Meeting and Thayer.
But thankfully, Quagmire's investment actually pays off, and he's now rich enough to bail out the Griffins with a tiny little check.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And if it makes you feel better, it was money well spent. Just ask Sandra, the waitress over there. We had a great time last night.
Tough girl. Made it into work.
And just like that, everything goes back to normal. Except now, the Griffins have world-class bankruptcy experience. Moral of the story, money can't buy happiness, but it can buy you a one-way ticket right back to being broke. Number 4, Peter gets rich selling cookies in Season 13, Episode 3. After seeing a natural disaster devastate Haiti, Lois decides to do something good by starting a blood donation drive. Brian supports her, saying she'll become a local hero like Paul Revere, who, fun fact, was actually a coward.
I mean, one of us should probably warn everyone, that the British are coming. I mean, not me. I mean, I want to fight. I mean, oh, shoot, I've got the horse. I mean, but if anyone else wants to go...
I'll go.
No one? All right. I'll make sure everyone remembers your names.
The blood drive is a big hit, with tons of people lining up to donate, except for our beloved comedic genius, Peter.
That's not true. That guy over there didn't donate.
That's still you, Peter.
Oh. Well, if I gotta donate, he's gotta donate too. You, get in here! Ha, sucker! Son of a bitch!
To lure Peter into donating,
Peter,
Lois
there
tells
are
him there are
cookies for
free
every-
cookies afterward. The man falls for it immediately, declaring that her cookies are even better than Connie Britton's hair.
God, your hair is delicious.
Who are you?
I'm the guy who killed your bodyguard.
That night, Peter has a brilliant idea. Why not open a cookie store together? Lois finds this suggestion so romantic that she agrees on the spot.
Oh, let's do it.
All right. Now let's turn up the TV real loud so the kids can't hear us having sex. Sex!
At the bank, their cookies impress both the loan officer and his manager, Cookie Monster. Yes, that Cookie Monster.
And if you have any other questions, you can call me at any time. Hello?
How far away are the stars?
With the loan secured, they buy a store and name it Peter's Wife's Cookies. Because branding is important, Peter is convinced they'll be a legendary duo like Moses and his seashell collecting buddy.
Yay!
On opening day, Peter rolls up his sleeves and his pants, ready to work. Unfortunately, he rolls them up so much that his limbs turn an alarming shade of purple.
Success is not given, it is taken. It's time to get in the game and get dirty. All right, I'm going to lunch.
Business, however, isn't booming as expected. Their customers are either freeloaders looking for samples or just plain terrible at shopping.
You gonna buy a cookie this time?
Oh, I better just stick with the sample. I'm so bad. But at least I know I'm bad, so that makes me a little less bad. Or worse.
Enter Quagmire, who gives Peter a piece of age-old wisdom. Sex sells. With no better options, Peter takes this advice to heart.
Hello?
Sorry, wrong number.
Hello?
Sorry, wrong number. And how are you today, sir?
After all, it beats his old job. The next day, a huge crowd lines up for cookies, and Lois is thrilled. Until she realizes Peter is using bikini-clad women to lure in customers.
Lois, meet cookie, sugar, spice, cinnamon, brown sugar, and butter.
Oh, hey, butter.
Some guys like butter.
She's outraged, until she sees the piles of cash rolling in. Reluctantly, she agrees to go along with it.
Thanks, Mr. Peter. This guy's the best.
Peter, as always, takes things way too far. He transforms the bakery into a full-fledged strip club. Lois tries to sell cookies to a customer, but he completely ignores her because, well, she isn't sexy enough.
Yeah, nobody's listening to you. They're all watching Sugar write frosting swears on her jugs. She just wrote vagina on her boobs. That didn't even make any sense!
Realizing things have gotten out of control, she tells Peter they're going down the wrong path. Peter, ever the salesman, dramatically rips her shirt off in front of everyone. Furious, Lois storms out.
Well, you're never gonna sell any looking like that. There, now you're ready to sell cookies.
You know what? That's it. I'm done.
In the end, Peter realizes he messed up again and apologizes. As a peace offering, he presents Lois with a personalized cookie.
So you want to split this with me?
I wouldn't. Butter helped me with it, and she has chlamydia fingers.
To get out of their loan, Lois simply hands over the bakery to the bank, now under the very questionable management of Cookie Monster.
Me love cookie! Nom, 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 nom.
The moral of the story? If Peter had just used beautiful women in a responsible way, the Griffin family would never be poor. Ain't that right, folks? Number 5. Peter gets rich off welfare. The ultimate life hack gone wrong. In Season 1, Episode 1, Peter faces a massive crisis when he loses his job, but decides to keep it a secret from Lois.
Yet miraculously, Job was still able to retain his dignity.
Whoa, is that really the blood of Christ?
Yes?
Man, that guy must have been wasted 24 hours a day, huh?
Desperate to make ends meet, he tries out a series of bizarre jobs, including one where he attempts to stop people from sneezing on food. Spoiler alert, he fails miserably.
Take it outside, lady.
Try it again.
I'm caca for Cocoa Puffs.
No, damn it, take 26.
After a string of career disasters, Peter is forced to admit that Lois might have been right when she said he wasn't man enough to take on a tank battalion in Tiana.
Screw this, I just came over to buy some fireworks.
Brian, ever the voice of reason, suggests that Peter should just be honest with Lois because sooner or later she'll figure out that he's unemployed and just hanging around the house. But honesty? In this economy? No way. Instead, Peter decides to apply for welfare benefits.
Do you have any disabilities, past injuries, physical anomalies?
I didn't have gas for the first time until I was 30. What the hell was that?
And boy, does the government deliver. He somehow receives a staggering $150,000 per week in welfare checks. Yes, per week. Truly, the American dream.
Hey, maybe somebody down there was drinking too, huh?
Mr. President, why do you think the American public has continued to support you throughout these impeachment proceedings?
Probably because you're so fat.
Of course, rather than using the money responsibly, Peter tells Lois it's his salary from a new job and immediately embarks on a spending spree that would make a lottery winner jealous. He buys a giant statue of David for the front yard.
You bought the statue of David?
No, I just rented it. And they're gonna be ticked, though. The penis broke off while I was loading it into the car.
I shall call you Eduardo.
Gives the kids extra allowance just to buy their silence, treats the family to the most expensive meal possible, fulfills Meg's dream of getting a new pair of lips.
Thank you, Daddy. I don't know, Peter. Lips are one thing, but did you have to buy breast implants for Chris?
Yeah, it makes him happy. Hey, these are cool.
And even builds a moat around the house to protect them from, get this, a rogue Black Knight. But all good scams must come to an end. Lois eventually discovers that Peter's fortune is actually taxpayer money, and she's not amused.
I know what I did was wrong, but I only did it for you and the kids. Except for the jukebox in the bathroom. That was a gift for Peter.
Yeah, from the American taxpayers. I am so mad I can't see straight.
Brian urges Peter to return the cash and come clean. So how does Peter choose to return the money? Naturally, by renting a hot air balloon and making it rain over a Super Bowl crowd.
Hey, wait a second. This is no ordinary rain. It's some kind of crazy money rain.
I'm being told it's a man and his dog throwing cash out of the blimp.
Oh, man, I hope this works. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to start dropping these.
The result? Absolute chaos, as fans scramble for flying cash and stadium security is forced to shoot down Peter's balloon like it's an enemy aircraft.
Madden to Fox Security.
Go ahead.
Take him down.
Yes, sir.
Peter's reign as an accidental welfare kingpin ends behind bars, facing a judge who hands him a shocking and 24-month prison sentence.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Oh, no!
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah.
Just when it seems all hope is lost, Stewie, ever the genius, whips out a mind control device and convinces the judge to change his ruling at the last second.
Oh, hell, you've learned your lesson, right?
Yeah.
All right, you're off the hook.
Oh, wow. Can you give me my job back?
No. Yes.
All right.
Lesson learned? Probably not, but it was one hell of a ride. Number 6, got rich by stealing Carter's company. Season 8, Episode 9. The most hilarious father-in-law versus son-in-law story in animated history. It all starts when Carter has a midlife crisis, realizing he never got to have a bachelor party. Feeling sorry for him, Peter decides to throw him one. Except the party is so wild that Carter ends up having a heart attack because, well, he's old.
Oh, awesome. All right. Oh!
Oh my God, what's happening to him?
I'm having a heart attack. You ought to know by now.
Carter slips into a deep coma, so deep that even Dr. House couldn't save him.
What are you doing?
My job. Sometimes people fake being in a coma. This man's not. Unless, of course, the first punch knocked him out. In which case, we won't know for some time. House.
Roadhouse.
With Carter incapacitated, Lois takes over Peter Schmidt Industries. But of course, Peter convinces her to let him run the company instead.
Right, Dr. House?
Well, don't ask me. My superiors think I'm crazy. Scared you, didn't I? House.
House.
Lois, understandably skeptical, points out that Peter is better at destroying things than managing them. Offended, Peter grumbles that Lois is more disappointing than a German fairy tale.
There once was a boy who liked to suck his thumbs. His mother asked him to stop, but he wouldn't. So she cut off his thumbs. Now he has no thumbs. Good night.
On his first day as CEO, guess what Peter does? That's right, he goes mad with power, fires the entire board, and even threatens to fire Lois when she protests.
How are you supposed to run that company without them?
That's it, Lois. You're fired. Chris, you are now Meg's mother.
Ooh, Peter, your muscles are so muscly.
I am gonna plow you so gross later.
He then replaces everyone with his buddies, Mort, Quagmire, Brian, and even Joe, who is unfortunately stuck at the entrance because Peter forgot to install a wheelchair ramp.
Hey, Joe, what are you doing down there?
There's no ramp. I can't get inside.
And we don't need him anyway.
Under Peter's brilliant leadership, the company starts producing ridiculous products like the African American Heart Monitor, Jeremy Irons cereal, Scream in a Box, and Lady Scream in a Box because of quality.
I needed that today.
And now, new lady scream in a box.
Finally, a scream that's right for me.
Soon, Carter wakes up and tries to take back his company, only for Peter to throw him out of his own business.
Security, we have a situation in the conference room. I'll give you a situation, you fat turd!
Furious, Carter warns Lois that Peter's insane ideas are driving the company into bankruptcy. Lois, however, feels conflicted and tells her father that ever since taking over the company, Peter has been even more unbearable than the time he made an unnecessarily long Christmas gift list.
Yeah, that's it.
All new this Christmas, remote control cars that glow in the dark?
Get that!
Meanwhile, Peter is now ridiculously wealthy, flying around in a private jet, recklessly destroying everything in his path. Joe complains, but Peter, now a full-blown dictator, couldn't care less.
Here, that ought to cover it.
Peter, I don't want your money!
Well, fine then. Have a box of Jeremy Irons cereal.
If you're looking for a prize at the bottom, there is none. Only more cardboard.
Desperate to fix things, Lois convinces Peter to rehire Carter, but Peter sees it as the perfect opportunity for revenge.
Clean that up!
He forces Carter to do humiliating tasks, like complimenting a depressed Asian man.
What about my shoe?
They're nice too.
How you think my house smell?
Not oniony.
You good, man. I pat you on the head and feed you from the hand.
Carter, broken and in tears, is finally saved when Lois comes up with a genius plan. They trick Peter into believing there's a swamp monster lurking nearby. Peter, terrified, immediately hands the company back to Carter.
Quick, Peter, sign this legal document giving the company back to Daddy so you won't get eaten.
I don't understand, but nothing makes sense in these swamp monster times.
But in the end, he still wins, because he gets to keep the company's private jet.
How are you doing that?
I don't know, Lois. I'm scared.
Okay, you can stay here with your father. I'm gonna go find a scientist.
Am I gonna die?
Number 7, getting rich by becoming the meth kingpin in Season 11, Episode 20. When crime in Quahog spirals out of control, Peter decides it's time for a fresh start, so he packs up the family and moves to a quiet farm.
You have a white wallet? Yeah, just like Truman Capote. Who's Truman Capote? What a surprise! The muggers never heard of Truman Capote. There's a library card in there. Use it!
Life seems peaceful at first, with Peter happily herding cows across the road just to make people late for work.
Hey, come on, man. I gotta get to work.
And so do they, sir.
Hurry it up!
Wait a second. Oh, get in line, you!
But reality hits hard when they run out of money because Peter keeps blowing the farm's budget on very important things, like plaid shirts.
And is it true that you've been spending the farm's money on gingham shirts you tie into a knot to expose your belly?
I bought a couple.
Lois starts panicking that they'll lose the farm, while Peter complains that every time he tries to run an honest business, it somehow crashes and burns.
Hi, I'd like to rent the proposal.
Hang on, let me check the return slot. I'm sorry, it hasn't been returned yet. I have a poster from the proposal you can look at. You'll get most of the story.
Huh, they seem pretty mismatched.
There you go.
Brian, being the sensible one, suggests saving the farm by getting an agricultural engineering degree. Peter thinks it's a genius idea, but only if he gets to make a speech at Brian's graduation.
And so, as I look out at your smiling faces filled with hope, all I can think is, you are completely screwed. As Martin Luther King once said, ouch, I've been shot. Thank you.
Just as Brian leaves for college, disaster strikes. A massive storm wrecks the farm, and all hope seems lost, until the Griffin family stumbles upon a hidden meth lab in their basement.
Oh, sweet, it's some kind of lab. Hey, maybe it has one of those things that goes... because that's important for science.
Opportunity knocks. Peter, being the visionary that he is, immediately sees this as their golden ticket to fortune. Lois, ever the voice of reason, protests that this is highly illegal and dangerous. Peter reassures her that they've done risky things before, like eating at that sketchy seafood restaurant once.
You go in first, and I'll go in a minute.
Oh, wow. Oh, my God. You dirty girl.
Peter, I haven't left yet.
You sick whore.
After carefully, or not so carefully, weighing their options, Lois hesitantly agrees to let Peter enter the drug trade.
Thanks, Lois. Oh, this is gonna work out great.
Hey, are you guys gonna feed us anytime soon?
No, sorry, we're doing meth stuff now.
I'll eat that.
You just got clean.
Soon enough, Peter becomes a full-fledged meth kingpin, rolling in cash. But power gets to his head. He grows paranoid, jumps at the slightest sound, and develops an intense fear of crickets.
Peter, but
What was that?
Dad, I think that was just a cricket.
Then what the hell was that?
That was just me saying that was just a cricket.
Dad, settle down.
There's no one out there, Peter.
You sure?
His overthinking spirals so much that when he hears a tiny chirp, he whips out a gun and fires wildly into the air, accidentally taking out an innocent cricket in the process.
Let them know. Let them know.
Gee, I hope I didn't scare the cows. I don't want to put them in a bad mood.
Peter's distribution method? Genius. He trains pigeons to deliver meth straight to customers' apartments. One particularly memorable delivery goes to a guy whose hands are shaking so badly that he probably shouldn't have been using meth in the first place.
Ah, perfect. Now this is the money I owe Peter. I want you to take it back to him. Do you understand?
Meanwhile, Brian returns home from college, expecting to find a thriving farm, but instead he walks into a nightmare. The house is in shambles, cash is literally everywhere, and Meg is passed out on the floor from a meth overdose.
What the hell is going on? Nothing. Just working on a family project, getting in some together time.
I have a crossbow.
Chris has a crossbow.
Brian proudly announces that he has brought home farm seeds to help the family, only for Peter to reward him with a very special surprise.
That's nice, Brian. Here's a new kind of meth you put in your pee hole.
What?
Oh, yeah, we're meth dealers now.
Yeah, you missed it. My teeth came in and then fell out again.
Their operation grows so big that it spreads across multiple towns, including their own. Even local news reporters get hooked.
Oh, meth is fine. Everything's fine. Go back to your own business.
Thanks, Trisha. She's doing fun things for me for money.
That's when Lois finally snaps. Realizing they've made a huge mistake, she decides to put an end to it all, no matter what Peter says. Because at the end of the day, he's just an absolute idiot with a bad business plan.
I forgot you don't even know your ass from a hole in the ground.
Is that my ass?
Number 8. Getting filthy rich by inheriting a fortune in Season 2, Episode 1. The Griffins were never the wealthiest bunch, but fate had other plans, specifically in the form of Aunt Marguerite Pewterschmidt, the very woman who played matchmaker for Lois and Peter.
Hi. My name is Howell. I have a Peter for you. My name is Peter, and I'll be your nipples. Howell, boy. Oh, jeez.
Oh, and did we mention? She was also ridiculously rich. Unfortunately for her, but fortunately for the Griffins, she kicked the bucket right on their doorstep.
Holy crap! Oh, you sweet old broad, I love you. Hey! Oh, my God. She's dead.
In a dramatic video message, Aunt Marguerite revealed that Lois had inherited Cherrywood Manor, a luxurious estate in Newport, Rhode Island.
Cherrywood? And that's so generous, Aunt Marguerite.
Wow, our own summer house. Now I feel kind of bad for doing that thing with a toothbrush.
Just like that, the Griffins were thrust into the elite world of the ultra-wealthy, a world they had absolutely no business being in. Upon arriving at Cherrywood, they were greeted with a full-blown musical performance from the estate staff. Naturally, their first instinct was to fire everyone immediately.
Welcome!
That's a wrap, people. Now let's get the hell out of here.
Now, wait a second. Where are you going?
The old bag only paid us up through the song.
Well, we can just pick up after ourselves.
But in a stroke of brilliance, Peter rehired them all just moments later, right after realizing he had accidentally sold their old house in Quahog without telling anyone. And so began the Griffin family's wildly misguided attempts at getting rich.
You deserve a big house and nice stuff. You know, like diamonds.
Peter, being the uncultured disaster that he is, struggled to fit in with high society. Meanwhile, Stewie adapted a little too well, treating the estate's servants like personal playthings.
Come play with us, Stewie, forever and ever and ever.
Yes, all work and no play makes Stewie a dull boy.
Lois, ever the voice of reason, quickly saw the family spiraling into madness. Feeling hopelessly out of place among the aristocrats, Peter begged Brian to turn him into a proper gentleman. Brian tried every method he knew, but nothing worked, until he resorted to extreme shock therapy.
You're so corpulent that when you sit around the magnificently appointed Tuscan Villa, you sit around the magnificently appointed Tuscan Villa.
This is the smartest show on TV.
Yo, Ricky, that's my girlfriend. She ain't supposed to be having no penis.
The result? Peter transformed overnight into a refined, sophisticated socialite. Lois was stunned when her buffoon of a husband actually behaved himself at a high-end auction.
Good day. Enchanté. Pasta fasool. Looking good, fellas.
But just when things seemed under control, Peter, fully committed to his rich guy act, recklessly bid $100 million on a vase, believing he actually had the money.
Mr. Griffin, you're the most generous man since Ted Turner.
I'd like to announce I'm giving a gift the whole world can appreciate. I've colorized the moon.
With Peter now deep in imaginary debt, Lois made the executive decision it was time to get out. But first, they had to figure out how to deal with the tiny issue of not having $100 million.
I had something worth that much money. Man, I never should have dropped Mean Joe Green's jersey.
Catch.
Wow, thanks, Mean Joe.
Desperate for a solution, Peter tried and failed to prove that Cherrywood Manor was historically significant.
Please, have our money ready by tomorrow. Good day.
Oh, wait. Look, this is where the Pilgrims landed at Fraggle Rock.
That is, until he stumbled upon a hidden collection of vintage photographs featuring none other than Abraham Lincoln, Robert E. Lee, and Ulysses S. Grant, all casually hanging out at Cherrywood Manor. The catch? Back then, Cherrywood wasn't a prestigious estate. It was a full-blown brothel.
Cherrywood was America's first presidential whorehouse. See, there's Lincoln, Grant, Robert E. Lee.
Those are fake.
Oh, they're real. And FYI, Lincoln had the jungle fever.
This shocking discovery turned Cherrywood into a priceless historical landmark overnight. Wasting no time, Peter sold one of the photos to a tabloid, made enough money to buy back their old house, and successfully dragged the family out of their high society nightmare.
Thanks to old Honest Abe, we have our house back, and I learned a valuable lesson. It doesn't matter if your family doesn't think I'm good enough for you.